welcome to Heard It Here First.
Heard it here.
I'm Rafi with Malachi the Great,
That's right, baby.
and we have fresh new material where we're going to be talking about everything that's already happened, give you that fresh perspective on it. The NBA draft, free agency. Malachi's come back now. He's boned up on his CBA, so he's going to give us some flavor.
Correct.
Yeah, he's working on his game. All right, Malachi, take it away. We're going to start talking about the draft and transactions. So we're supposed to be working with the Eastern Conference first, so go ahead and lead it off.
So the first pick or the first trade we have of draft night that went through was Bol being traded from the Miami Heat. It was the 44th pick for a 2022 second round pick, and they get the lower of the Denver or 76er pick, and it's a pick swap for Minnesota and $1.2 million in cash. I would just say that this is a trade. I don't think they even wanted Bobo. I think they just picked him so they could get something because he was just there.
Bobo just being there, you mean?
Yeah, because he's like Bobo was supposed to be a first round pick going into the draft. Well, before the injury, he was supposed to be top 5. Going into the draft, he was supposed to be right outside of the lottery in probably the 20s. So when Bobo dropped to the 40s, everybody was kind of like, who's going to pick him next? And I feel like the Miami Heat picked him because they knew that he probably had the most value if they flipped him.
Oh, okay. Okay. You
They
don't
had
think that
picked Iggy Brosdakis, you couldn't flip him for as much. You probably couldn't have gotten 1.2 million in a second round pick out of that from 2022, even though
do,
2022 is a long ways away.
do you think that he was or already so this is Bobo to the Nuggets. Do you think that
Yes.
the Nuggets had already worked it out since you only get 2 minutes a pick and they said pick Bobo?
I don't know because the thing is, the Nuggets didn't have any draft picks at all in this draft. And the number one player they wanted on their draft board going into the draft was Bobo.
Okay.
So they may have pre-organized this trade, or somebody they might have. I don't know if they knew he was going to drop that low, but
He was their
when they
number
started seeing
one. He was the number one guy on their board.
yeah, for the picks that they could get, because they didn't have any, so that was the guy they wanted.
Wow. So did they say where they had him rated? Like normally, was he a top 5 pick or?
I don't know. They just said that when they got to him, that was the number one guy they wanted to get with what they had.
Gotcha.
Because
So when you look at the team, I look at Spot Track and I look and see that Bobo has joined their team. What do you think about the new look Denver Nuggets with their Michael Porter Jr. and all these other guys on the team?
well, I can't say anything about their new team yet because first of all, who knows when Bobo will play? He'll probably be a G League guy for probably the next. I'm gonna say he'll probably be a G League dude for the next 2-3 years because of Jokic being on the team.
Okay.
And they already have what's the other center they got? Not Juan
Nah.
Hernan-Gomez. They have Daryl Arthur. Don't they still have Daryl Arthur?
Well, I'm looking at Mason Plumlee, Juan Hernan-Gomez.
Plumlee.
Yeah.
That's the guy they have, Plumlee. So he won't probably play for 2 to 3 years. And
Okay.
Michael Porter Jr., if he plays and he's all right and his back is good, I assume he'll probably take the starting spot from Will Barton. And if you run a lineup of Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr., Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic, that sounds like first to second seed potential to me. That sounds like a good 55 wins.
Okay.
If Michael Porter Jr. is everything they say he is, because he's supposed to be the next Kevin Durant, a 6'10", lanky shooting guy.
Well, he can't even get on the floor in summer league, so he sounds like a bum to me.
Yeah, I don't know. He sprained his knee. I guess they're trying to be protective of him, but that doesn't,
Yeah, it sounds like he could be like injury prone big time. So All right, so we move on from Denver and the Bobo pick. Who's up next?
We got the Golden State Warriors acquired the 2019 second round pick. Who knows how to say that? I'm not even gonna try it. His name is Allen. I gave you the first part. I'm not gonna try to give you the last part. And New Orleans got a 2022 second, a 2023 second in cash considerations, which was an undisclosed amount. I'm gonna say probably that this is a very a trade that doesn't make any sense. Well, it makes sense, but not really. It's just one of those trades to make because he made it.
So, what do you think the motivation of Golden State is? This a draft and stash dude overseas?
No, he's going to be in the G League.
Oh,
So this guy apparently is the youngest player to ever play in the G League at 18. Um, he's born August 18, 2000. So he's an
wow,
18. He's turning 19.
wow.
Uh, he's a very fresh young dude from Serbia. Um, he's a 6'9". I mean, I don't know. I've never seen half these dudes. There's not even film on most of these players. So it's like
So there's nothing
he did play in the
on Allen.
he did play it. So he played in the G League this past season. He was 18 years old. So he's gonna go up to the main roster.
So
But
who he was just a free agent on the G League teams?
he's one of the players that got drafted from the G League into the NBA, like PJ Harrison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is he going? I guess will he be on a two-way deal or what is he?
Who knows what he'll be on? I'm assuming he'll be on a. He's a late second. I'm gonna assume he might be on a rookie scale, a
Okay,
regular second round rookie scale contract.
okay,
Um,
okay. Wow.
but it's on a 2-year deal. But it's like I don't know who this is.
Right.
He might be a good player, but I might just be ignorant. But I don't know who this is.
Okay.
I don't know
All
who
right.
this is.
All right. So what's the next one then? Since we don't know this dude, who's the next guy?
We got the New York Knicks getting Iggy Brosdakis from Sacramento for $1
Okay.
million, and Kyle Guy
Kyle
going to
Guy,
Sacramento,
isn't he from Virginia? Isn't that where he's
Virginia.
from?
Yeah, he the one that got married.
Oh, right. So pick
Yeah,
pick 55
was Kyle Guy,
and
and
$1
pick
million
47 is
dollars.
Iggy Brosdakis.
Huh. I guess that's not a bad deal to move up 8 slots. You give up $1 million and the draft pick. I mean, I think
The
Bryce
thing
Dakis is
that's
good. Uh, uh, a draft and stash dude overseas.
no, he's going to be in the G League.
Oh,
So this guy apparently is the youngest player to ever play in the G League at 18. Um, he's born August 18, 2000. So he's an
wow,
18. He's turning 19.
wow.
Uh, he's a very fresh young dude from Serbia. Um, he's a 6'9". I mean, I don't know. I've never seen half these dudes. There's not even film on most of these players. So it's like
So there's nothing
he did play in the
on Allen.
he did play it. So he played in the G League this past season. He was 18 years old. So he's gonna go up to the main roster.
So
But
who he was just a free agent on the G League teams.
he's one of the players that got drafted from the G League into the NBA, like PJ Harrison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is he going? I guess will he be on a two-way deal or what is he?
Who knows what he'll be on? I'm assuming he'll be on a. He's a late second. I'm gonna assume he might be on a rookie scale, a
Okay,
regular second round rookie scale contract.
okay,
Um,
okay. Wow.
but it's on a 2-year deal. But it's like I don't know who this is.
Right.
He might be a good player, but I might just be ignorant. But I don't know who this is.
Okay.
I don't know
All
who
right.
this is.
All right. So what's the next one then? Since we don't know this dude, who's the next guy?
We got the New York Knicks getting Iggy Brosdakis from Sacramento for $1
Okay.
million, and Kyle Guy
Kyle
going to
Guy,
Sacramento,
isn't he from Virginia? Isn't that where he's
Virginia.
from?
Yeah, he the one that got married.
Oh, right. So pick
Yeah,
pick 55
was Kyle Guy.
and
And
$1
pick
million
47 is
dollars.
Brazdeikis.
Huh. I guess that's not a bad deal to move up 8 slots. You give up $1 million and the draft pick. I mean, I think
The
Bryce
thing
Dakis is
that's
good.
I just don't know because Kyle Guy is like not a point guard, but not a shooting guard. He's just not. Because the thing is, he's a shooting guard, right? That's what they list him at.
Right?
But he's 6'1" and like 170 pounds.
Sound
So
like
it's like,
Bob Cousy at the two.
what shooting guard has ever been 6'1", 170 pounds? There's never been one. Even Jimmer was bigger than that.
Right.
I
Well,
can't think of.
I don't. I think it might have been a bad move for the Kings because Bryce Dakis, I think, went for 30 plus in the summer league game, didn't
Oh
he?
my god! And now looking in the summer league, the fact that Iggy Brazdeikis he looked like a really really good player. Like people just didn't realize it because he was on the Knicks team,
Uh huh.
but and they had Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox doing things that I ain't never seen them do. They shouldn't even be out there to begin with. But Iggy Brazdeikis is like he just looked like he. I don't mean to say this because he's white. He looked like Kyle Korver. He was just catching the ball, going behind screens, and just shooting, and
Oh,
he
he,
was
he
hitting it.
he wasn't putting it on the floor.
He was sometimes he was going to the basket, but what they mostly did is they would run what I like to call JJ Redick, which is a little off-ball screen, and he'd run around to the three-point line, catch and shoot. Or they'd set a pick for him at the top, and he would go behind the screen and shoot like a Trey Young.
But that's pretty amazing. He's like 6'7", right? I'm 6'7" and still
Yeah,
growing.
yeah. So I was like, I didn't see that at Michigan. I didn't see any of this stuff at Michigan.
He could
So I
shoot
was
it.
like,
He could shoot it at
he
Michigan.
could shoot, but he wasn't catching it off screens and going behind people and shooting. He
Yeah,
wasn't doing that.
no, that wasn't his game at all. How do you think he's gonna mix with
With
the
RJ,
yeah, the Knicks and putting that lineup out there on the floor every night?
I just
They're gonna get a strong 25 wins out of that lineup.
I don't know because the thing about the Knicks is they're so disorganized. It's just like they have so many players just come in and start, and then they won't start for the next 3 games, and then they'll start 2 more, and then they'll bench them again. So it
Right.
doesn't make any sense with the Knicks because they are so. You saw in free agency how they're just like a super disorganized, not to completely together organization, and
Right.
so with Iggy Brazdeikis, who knows? He might start. There's a high chance he could start 70 games. There's a chance he could start 20. It's just like depends on how the coaching feels. Because
I
if
mean,
he's a small forward, they might move Kevin Knox and they might not. So who knows what they'll do.
I'm looking at the Knicks. They got a bunch of players that are playing for contracts. Nobody is signed past 2023, and that's
Yep.
R.J. Barrett. And
Mm-hmm.
they got Knox, they got Randall, Mitchell Robinson, and Iggy Brazdeikis are up in 22. Everybody else is 21 and 20. So they don't have a team. They got a bunch of talent that is looking for their next deal. Guys is on 1 and 2 year deals, man. They not, it's nothing consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Marcus
So
Morris is on a 1 and 15, so he ain't, he's looking for his next team as he's playing for his current team.
yeah.
So, all right, what's next? We got Golden State. They acquired 2 million for Mai Oni.
Mie Uni, he's the kid from Yale. He's the shooting guard. I remember him. He
Wasn't
was
he?
pretty good. He was the Ivy League player of the year.
Wasn't he supposed to go in the high second round, late first?
I don't I don't think so. I just remember him being at the end of the second round. That's
Oh,
where I saw him. But he went to Yale. I saw him. I thought he would be pretty good. Um, he plays with a little bit of power as a shooter.
okay.
He's kind of big. He probably shouldn't have gone there. I think he was a little bit. I mean, I don't know, because it was when he was in high school. in the early days, he didn't get recruited very much.
Okay.
But then as he got older, he got a lot better. And so I think they nominated him for the McDonald's All-American. And he didn't get chosen, but he still went to Yale because they were the only school that recruited him
Oh, I
before
see.
he left. So it was either that or he goes D3. And like nobody
Yeah.
wants to play D3.
Right. You're not really
So
coming out of there.
So that's what happened with him. I think he's a pretty decent player. NBADraft.net says he's a Kirk Snyder. Um
Kirk
I haven't heard
Snyder.
that name.
Kirk
And
Snyder. I don't even know who that is.
I don't remember
Kirk
Kirk
Heinrich, but not
I
Kirk
don't remember
Snyder.
Kirk Snyder. But anyway, we'll just move on because I don't think this really affects the Jazz unless he turns. I'll say this all the time, and it probably will turn into a great player, but who cares? Next, we have Philadelphia 76ers getting $2 million in cash, and the Washington Wizards taking Jonathan Simmons in a 42nd pick, which they used to select Admiral Schofield. So this makes sense for the Sixers because they had too many draft picks going into it, and they would have had
Okay.
too many contracts. So they had all kinds. They had Celtics picks. They had just pick on top of pick. So I was like, they're gonna have to trade at least 3 of these, if not more.
Uh-huh.
But I do commend the Wizards for getting Admiral Schofield because they did need a 3 after losing Trevor Ariza. Maybe they knew he was leaving. Maybe they didn't. But I knew that Schofield would be a decent player because he played pretty well at Tennessee. He's older.
Yeah,
You know what you're getting out of him.
right. He's a good player, man.
And you know what you're getting because it's like he's 20. How old is Schofield? 22? He a junior?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I expected him to do. Now, here's what didn't make sense is taking on Jonathan Simmons' $6 million contract.
So
That has
Jonathan Simmons, it appears, I'm looking him up right now. It
he got
appears,
released.
yeah, but it looked like he only had a $1 million guarantee.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Well, no, because I thought I checked the dead cap and it said it showed up as 6 million.
It's 1 million. 1 million right here.
Oh,
Dead cap.
well, his deal's a lot better than I thought. Because I
Yeah,
thought
so
I thought they took on a $6 million guarantee and waived it.
it looks like it might have been a $6 million
Oh yes,
contract
I
had he
see it.
played it.
Yeah,
But
I see the dead cap.
so it's only $1 million that they had to pay in dead cap. So so it looks like it was partially guaranteed, which is fine. So basically
Yes.
you ended up with a one so
Schofield.
Washington Schofield and you paid 1 million. So Schofield, you pay $1 million,
So basically, paid
three
$3 million
million.
to get Schofield.
Yeah, that's not so bad. I think Schofield is a really good. He could turn into a really good rotational player, and
Mm-hmm.
for $3 million, to me, that's not bad at all, man. I would have made that deal 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Schofield's probably going to be on the big roster. You know, Washington doesn't really have a whole lot going for itself. Um, they just, unfortunately, they just, you know, they got to pay for those times when the Ernie show was here, and
Mhm.
he just blew it all out of proportion. He didn't get great players, but they weren't bad. Now they got a really good player, not a great player in Bradley Beal, but then their other superstar went down, so they're kind of in this zone where they're not really bad and they're not really any good. They're just kind of a 30,
With the current team, I'd
35.
say a 27 win team.
Yeah, that might be a little generous. That would be all Bradley trying to get them there.
Because I'd say when a starting lineup, let's say Isaiah Thomas, Bradley Beal,
Mm,
assuming Hachimura plays the 3.
mm.
I don't know if he'll play 4 because what's his name is the 4. God, what's his name? I can't remember.
Bertans?
Yeah, Bertans. Because there's no way that they'll start. There's absolutely no way they'll start CJ Miles or Troy Brown. I refuse to believe that.
I think CJ
I
Miles is going to be your starter at the 3.
I feel like they're gonna do a Hachimura Bertans thing with Thomas Bryant at the center
I think
because
Hachimura will be your starting
you
four-man.
know Hachimura is a defensive nightmare at the 3 and at the 4 too. He just can't guard anybody.
He can probably guard the 4 better than 3. He has no chance at the 3. None.
He couldn't even guard 4s in summer league though. That's the thing.
Well,
That's what's concerning.
it's going to be a little different once you get team defense involved, but he can't guard threes. He'll foul out in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I saw him try to guard what's his name at Gonzaga, R.J. Barrett and Zion in the same game, and they was just blowing right by him, getting and ones.
Yeah, he gonna be on him. He'll get 3 fouls in the first 3 minutes, man. But no, they got Ish Smith or Isaiah. Isaiah Thomas can't start for you.
I mean, unless he goes back to being somewhat of the old Isaiah Thomas, he can start.
I don't think he has that type of juice in his legs
If
anymore.
he could just be at least 1/3 of how good old Thomas was, then he'll be okay, I believe.
I don't think he's got that type of juice in his legs. I just don't. I think his hip is not what it used to be, and I just don't think that that it can happen. Plus, they got they got a super max guy in Wall and a max guy in Bradley Beal. There's not much room. I mean, they got 16 million in Ian Mahimi, and then other guys are coming off. Mahimi's coming off this year. Miles is coming off this year. Bertrands is coming off this year. Isaiah Thomas. So they got some flexibility. They got cheap contracts in Justin Robinson, Hachimura, and Ish Smith will be off in 2 years at $6 million a year. So they're in good shape. They're just gonna stink this year, but they're in good shape. They got to figure out something to do with Wall, man. At 4 years and 171, that's killing them. Till 2023, man. That's killing them, man.
I would consider trading John Wall and Bradley Beal, but that's for another episode.
Yeah,
for another episode.
Ooh, boy.
So next trade we have the Indiana Pacers getting a 2021 second round pick and $1 million in cash for a 2019 second round pick, who was the 50th pick in the draft, Mr. Jarrell Brantley. I ain't never heard of no NBA player come out of Charleston in my entire life.
College of Charleston?
Yes, I've never heard of no NBA player come out of college. Now, I do respect this man. He did go to Montrose.
Yeah, there's been a couple dudes that came out of College of Charleston back in the 90s, I believe.
I respect him because he came out of
Montrose Christian.
That's my place. Rockville. But that's not one NBA player has come out of school of College Charleston, and that is Anthony Johnson.
Yeah, I remember exactly. I remember Anthony Johnson. Wait, I'm thinking Anthony Carter. Who's Anthony Johnson?
No, Anthony Johnson, 6'3", point guard, bounced around 17s, played 14 years. He played in the finals in Orlando for 2 years.
I'm thinking Anthony Carter.
He did nothing big and super big in his. He played for Indiana for 3 years, if that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's they have a decent team. They go to the tournament they used to go a lot more, but they get there about once every 2 to 3 years now. And they'll make some noise sometime, and then they'll flutter out. They're a solid program down there.
Yeah, but I don't know. This trade doesn't hold any real significance to it.
I think they needed to get. I think they needed to. Because they brought in Brogdon for Bogdanovich and stuff like that. So I think they needed to move off some money, and so they just sold the pick and will. They kicked the can down the road, and they got some extra money. So that $1 million is you can't use it for cap, but you can use it for expenses.
Yeah, so
that's a good move.
Undersized, powerful, reminiscent of one Trevor Booker. 8.4 rebounds per game last year.
Not so bad.
He just can't shoot. shot 33% from three last year. Yeah, that's just it's not super significant. So we'll just go
Right.
right on.
Come
We'll go to
on.
probably one of the bigger trades, depending on who you ask. The Los Angeles Lakers got 46 pick in the draft, Taylor Horton Tucker, for a 2020 unprotected LA pick and 2.2. That's about $2.23 million in cash. All right, so
Taylor Horton, is he the guy with the long arms from Iowa State?
those massive arms at 6'5", whatever he is, with 7'1" arms. Yes,
Right,
that's
right.
Taylor Horton Tucker. I swear, every time the Lakers pick a dude, they hype him up out of absolutely nowhere. Like, the thing is, I had never heard of this kid, right? I think most Lakers fans hadn't heard who this was.
Taylor
All of a
Horton
sudden,
Tucker?
all of a sudden, this kid get drafted. They hyped him through the roof. All right, acting like, oh my God, this kid's gonna be a lockup dude. And I'm like, did he really? I don't even think he played in summer league.
He did, and they said he has a stress fracture in his foot.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know, because like a 7'1" arms on a 6'4", 6'5" guy is incredible. But he's a little out of shape at 235 for 6'4". That's a little.
Well, they say that he's 18. Is he 18 years old?
Yeah, he 18 or 19. He's young, bro.
So was he a freshman? True freshman?
Yeah, I think he was a true freshman.
So, he could just go down into the G League and just play basketball. You know what I
I feel
mean?
like he'll just end up being a type of two-way player, something not because of the last name, but I feel like he'll be reminiscent of a PJ Tucker.
He could go down and reinvent his game. If he's playing basketball full time as opposed to
Mhm.
going to class, I think, that might be something that they can pull out of him. I mean, 6'5" with 7+ feet arms, man, that's gonna be some clay to work with.
Rondo, that's like bigger than Rondo having, like, he was like 6'1" with 6'9" arms. So that's
Right.
really like,
That's
I can't think of anybody who was 6'4" with 7'1" arms. Did Dwayne
uh,
Wade even have that?
I don't think so. I think that's really, 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 really uncommon. Really uncommon. So I think, even though he's a bigger guy, I think he's going to be in good basketball shape eventually. And I really think that they got something to work with. I really do. I think that this is a good pick.
Mhm.
What did they get? 2020. Yeah, they don't need those picks because next year, I mean, presumably they're going to be in the second or third round of the playoffs. So a 2020 second rounder isn't going to do anything. Meanwhile, you got this piece of clay, that you can work with for 3 years and see what happens. You know,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. So what's next?
So now we got Boston trading essentially the 24th pick in the draft, which they traded later on, and Carson Edwards to the to Boston, and Matisse Thybulle, the 20th pick, goes to Philly. Honestly, I saw Matisse Thybulle play, and I believe it was summer league.
Yeah,
I think I saw him,
he's
and
balling.
he just looks okay. He's a defending guy. He's nothing more than
His defense is top level though, man. Like he was putting the clamps on dudes.
he is, but I don't. He did go to Philly, so I assume they'll mold him into a 3-and-D dude like they usually do with like people like Robert Covington type player.
Yeah, I think
Because
that I mean he's not gonna get a lot of run with a championship type team that they got there right
yeah,
now. You know.
yeah, he has a little less size than Robert Covington at 6'6", and Robert Covington's about what, 6'8".
Yeah, he's
So
big dude. He's big dude.
I would say he'll just be now Carson Edwards. Oh my god, yo, Carson Edwards had all the kinds of confidence in summer league. He was pulling from way back. Like Carson Edwards was catching it, crossing half court, and just pulling it because he felt like it.
He's very, very talented. I think that he could play his way onto the backup point guard role this year. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of like Kimba, similar in height, a little bit stronger, or at least wider and thicker. But I think he could get some minutes, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get 10 plus minutes, 10 to 12 minutes a night. And maybe start a few games if guys is hurt. If Kimba goes down, I wouldn't be surprised to see him start a little bit.
Yeah, Carson, it'll be scary though. He is a 6 foot point guard. It's like if you thought Kemba Walker and Enos Cancer in the pick and roll was a defensive nightmare, just wait till you see Carson Edwards and Enos Cancer together.
I mean, I,
Oh boy.
I I think his thickness will help. His length out obviously doesn't help, but I think his thickness may help when it comes to getting over and around screens. I mean, all these dudes are bad on defense when they come to the NBA, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, not all of them, not every single one of them.
Most of
I
them
assume Zion will be a decent defender.
yeah, I think but on the point guard, most of your point guard, like even Kyle Lowry when he came out, and he was schooled well at Villanova, and he still struggled, to defend. But I think Carson Edwards could grow into a Kyle Lowry. They got similar frames.
Mm.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, I think physically, he's 21, 22 years old. I think he can hold up physically. He's been the man for a couple years in Purdue. So I think he can adjust to making big shots or taking big shots. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the playoffs do a nice little job and being a backup point guard. I would not be
I can see
surprised.
him evolving into a Terry Rozier type
Yeah,
player,
yeah,
where he just kind of is just there. He make the shot. They make some shots every now and then.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. He's got the range. He's got the heart. He played his butt off in Purdue, especially in the
In the
final
tournament
in
against
the turn.
Tennessee.
Oh man, he was giving it everything, everything. It's just sometimes he's real streaky, man. That's his only issue. But I like him, man. I think it's a good pick. Um, Thibault would have not gotten any run with Jalen Brown and Tatum and all. He's just not a good
He
fit
won't
there.
get any in Philly though either.
He might just be a up and down. He might be G League. Go down there get some experience. Maybe in 2 years, he might come back with a little something. So then next up is my Pistons. We going to work. I think this was a good trade for both teams. I think the fact that John Lure was coming off, he's a little bit cheaper than than Tony Snell. Tony Snell is a decent player. I just think that he got buried in that lineup. I mean, he had been playing well before, and for whatever reason, he just didn't come through this year. But I like the pickup of John Lure. They in the 30th pick they came off of some money because they needed to sign Chris Middleton. They needed to do everything that they could to get
Yeah,
Middleton.
because they lost Brogdon already as it is, and so they couldn't lose Middleton too.
Right, right.
And
So
so I really think they made a good. I mean, like 10 million for another 10 million isn't like super significant,
right.
but I don't. Let's see. Is John Lure's contract guaranteed? Let's see.
So it looks like it was guaranteed. It looks like they waived him. He was
Yeah.
he
So
was he was due he was due 2000 this year, 20 and 21. So the Pistons got off of him. They stretched him. So it looks like they stretched him for 3.
oh yes,
I think he
yeah. So
was
they got 3 million for 3 years. Yeah.
so what they basically did to get Middleton under the cap is they needed a lesser salary than Tony Snell. And because what is it? Snell makes what is it? I think you had it up there. Oh, they don't. Oh yeah. So Snell made 10.8 and John made 10. So stretching him at 3 plus versus, my man, that's a big difference in stretching. Big difference.
Yeah.
He gets
And I
stretched for
think that all.
3.169 is his hit for this year. So with that money, they could move they could move him so they could get what's his name under the cap, which they did at 5 years and 177.
Yeah, so I think that was a pretty good deal for Milwaukee. Detroit, they need a wing, obviously. They don't have any.
Yeah, they got a starting wing out of it. I thought they did a good job. I think Tony Schnell is an
I wouldn't know if
player.
Tony Snell's starting wing. He might. I think he's just a good player, a good role player.
I think
I
he's
don't know if he's a starting.
I think he's a starting small forward in the NBA. Like I think he's a slight upgrade from Stanley Johnson, but nothing more than. I mean, he makes shots. He's shot 40% from three, but he doesn't really give you much on the glass. He doesn't really give you much in any other facet of the game other than really shooting and just being kind of a tall guy.
And being pretty decent at defense.
Yeah, I mean he uses his arm. I mean he's a decent player. I think he's just just an NBA. He's an NBA player who can shoot. I think that's his NBA skill. So his ability to shoot, his ability to be kind of in the way when it comes to playing defense. I think that's his value. And they didn't have after they let Stanley go and they got Thon Maker. The Pistons didn't have a starting small forward. And so, that's what they got out of this deal. I think it's a good deal. They got the first round pick, which they kind of played around with, as we'll see later. They moved off of the money that would come with that third round pick, or first round pick that would have been Kevin Porter, and so they moved
Mhm.
down. So I think for both teams, I think it was a great deal for both teams.
So next we got the Brooklyn Nets getting a 2020 first round pick and a second round pick, 56 pick Jalen Hands from UCLA. I remember him. He was a McDonald American.
Right.
And the LA Clippers acquired the 27th pick out of Florida State, Mifiandu Kabengele.
I think
So
he's a good player. I like Cavanielli. I think he's a hard worker. I think we watched him in the tournament a couple times.
yeah, we watched Kabengele. He's Mutombo's cousin.
Right.
He's like a really big, strong. He plays a lot of aggression. Um, I think he's a pretty good player. I think he's a little small to play center or power forward or whatever he'll play in the NBA.
Right.
Um, but he's a very big, thick guy. NBA Draft.net has him as a Vin Baker. I don't know if that's actually accurate, considering Vin Baker was a really
Yeah.
good post player, but he's a very good defensive player. Um, he plays a
Got a lot of
little like
energy.
Mutombo.
He got a lot of energy though.
He
Lot of
plays a little
energy.
bit like Mutombo. He plays a little like Mutombo.
Yeah. He does. He's just about 6'9", but long arms, a lot of energy. I
Yeah.
don't know if I would have been trading. I don't think I would have traded the picks that I did for him. I mean, I don't see him as
Giving up a first round pick is pretty significant.
first
A
round pick.
first and a second for Kabengele is like,
Eh,
unless it'll only be worth it if he turns out to be a very good player. But I feel like in the future, I feel like fulfill the role of Montrezl Harrell, kind of, for the Clippers.
I think so.
I think that's what he'll end up being.
I think he had knee issues as well, but I'm not sure. But I don't know. I mean, I think he'll be a rotational guy. This year he'll get under 10 minutes a game. It may be in his prime. He's a solid guy, Alton Lister type.
Hmm.
I think he'll be a rotational guy. Mark West, one of them dudes that starts and he ain't killing you and he ain't really helping you. He just
Hmm.
takes up minutes. Uh, so
Yeah.
the next one is Bazemore for Turner. I think that trade was made because they didn't know if somebody was going to sign or something in Portland. I can't quite remember what it was.
I I believe it's just a cap. I think it's just a salary for salary deal. Um, or I see that the trade went through the night of the draft or the night after the draft. So I assume that because of Nasir Little coming, that they were just like, we don't need Evan Turner to be our small forward anymore.
Yeah,
We'll just kind of bring in Nasir Little to do his thing. and we'll see how that goes. I
Right.
believe that's what happened because I don't know. It just kind of seems like a salary for salary thing.
It was a reason why they did it, though. I couldn't quite remember what it was, but it's a reason why they did it.
I also feel like, hold on, who did they not get? Did they not get somebody back? Oh, I think what's his name left, didn't he? Did they get Rodney Hood back?
Yeah, they got Rodney Hood back at 2 years and
Yes,
11.7.
yes. Did I get Rodney Hood back?
Yeah, they got Rodney Hood back at 2 years and
Yes,
11.7.
yes. That's what it was. It was an insurance for Rodney Hood.
Yeah, they got
I
Damian
also think it
Lillard.
has to do a little bit with Nasir Little, but I think it's also an insurance plan on Rodney Hood.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. That's what came back to me now. It was Rodney Hood. They didn't know, so they traded for Bazemore to fill Rodney Hood's role.
In case if he left because they couldn't pay him the mid level.
And their salary, the salaries on this team are outrageous. They got Dam this year at 27.97, and then he signed the Supermax at 39.2, which will start next year. McCollum at 26.6, Hassan Whiteside at 24.6, Bazemore at 17.5, and Nurkic at 12. I mean,
according to my my numbers here, Portland has the highest cap in the league, or not
they,
the highest amount of cap, but they have the least amount of cap space. They are
yeah,
negative 10 million, 8.6 million or so into the luxury tax.
yeah, they're hard cap. They got Scal Lavasier, Nasir Little, Gary
They
Trent.
have what they have Dame, they have McCollum, they have Nurkic new contract, and they have Whiteside.
Yeah,
There's nowhere they're going.
I mean it's a championship team though. They got Hazanga.
With the Bazemore contract.
Yeah,
Not in.
I think that's their starting lineup. I think that's what it is,
Yeah.
and they're just gonna go with it. They're gonna play them dudes into the ground. I mean, their bench is Lavasier, Anthony Simmons, Gary Trent. They got Hazonga, and AT Anthony Tyler. He'll get some run. He's a good player. But man, they gonna play them dudes upwards of 33, 34 minutes a night, and they just gonna let the chips fall because they hard capped.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them.
So what's the next trade there?
We've got the Dallas Mavericks getting Isaiah Roby and in a 2020 second round pick from Utah and a 2021 second round pick from Portland for Mr. Diva Das.
Diva Das. I watched him a little bit over the summer. He can shoot. That's about it. He got a long way. He got a long way to go, man. Like
that's all he's got is he can shoot.
He can shoot, man. I mean, if he open, he knocking it down.
Kyle Singler.
No, I think he's more like a Kyle Korver, but he don't have the defense. He don't have the defense that Korver's. He was where he was supposed to be. So yeah, he got a long way to go. He's gonna play on the Detroit on the Grand Rapids Drive. So we'll see.
Really? I thought he wasn't gonna come over.
He wants to come over, so they're gonna put him on the drive, and they gonna see how the chips fall with that dude too, man. When he got to get his body together. He got it's you're not looking at anything from that guy till 22, 23, somewhere around in there. You might look for some contribution, but he got a long way to go.
He really does. So, next we have the Cleveland Cavaliers getting Kevin Porter Jr. and the Detroit Pistons getting $5 million in cash, a 2020 second round pick from Utah, a 2021 second round pick from Portland, a 2023 second round pick from Portland as well, and a 2024 second round pick from Miami, which is top 55 protected. Pistons got 4 picks out of this, so I'm not mad at. Except I don't know. The fourth pick is kind of more of like an empty pick, but the Kevin Porter deal.
Move off of the money. They're real close to the luxury tax, like real close to the luxury tax. And that 1.29 that they paid, you could have used that to get Markieff Morris, which I think they did. So
Yeah, that's
they basically used that for a veteran. I think he signed the biannual at 2 point something, 2.8 or something.
yeah,
If
he did.
and if they signed,
So
yeah, that's why.
yeah, so I don't know. Pistons got 10. I would call it 3 picks because that last pick is kind of what I like to call an empty pick.
And they got Markieff Morris for 2 years.
And they got $5 million in cash. So I feel like that was a good trade for them in the end.
Yeah.
The next trade we have is the Phoenix Suns getting $1.1 million. Miami acquiring KZ Okpala from Stanford, and
He's a good player.
Indiana getting TJ Warren, a 2022 second round pick, a 2025 second round pick, and a 2026 second round pick. I'm not quite sure whose pick that is, but TJ Warren, great player.
Yeah.
Really fits because Indiana has to do a lot of damage control after the sudden retirement of Darren Collison
And
and banning of Tyreek Evans.
Bogdanovich. Then they got Bogdanovich
And
too.
Bogdanovich leaving. So they had a lot of like damage control to do.
Yeah.
They had a lot of players that they had to just redo the whole team.
Right,
So
right.
I don't blame the Pacers for this deal. Who I do blame is the Suns only getting $1.1 million out of this for TJ Warren. Look, that's a starting small forward for I'd say about probably about 20. I'd say about 20 out of 30 NBA teams TJ Warren could start at.
Yeah, I think so.
And so the fact that they traded him for $1.1 million and that's it. They didn't get anything back. They essentially, we'll talk about this later, because they did get another draft pick later on in the draft, but essentially they traded TJ Warren for some cash, which was not worth it whatsoever. They didn't even get a pick back for the future. I feel like this is a terrible pick for Phoenix, as usual. Don't expect much from Phoenix. Miami, KZ Okpala, again, doesn't mean much at the time. It might mean something later with how Miami develops their players. They usually turn into decent players, as we've seen from players Josh Richardson.
Yeah,
he'll be a pretty good player one day. I won't know yet, so I can't grade how good that trade is. But I do know that this is a great trade for Indiana and a horrible, actually not even horrible. It's just a Phoenix trade at this point.
I mean, Indiana has really got a nice young squad. Oladipo and Brogdon. That's really nice. Miles Turner, TJ Warren, and Jeremy Lamb as your starting five. That's good.
That's really good.
That's really, really, really a young core. I really like what they're doing. They got Sabonis and Goga Badite.
Detox or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Detox.
Then you got the Holiday brothers on the team.
Yeah, you got that dude got the new Justin Holiday.
Yeah, and then they got Brian Bowen, who I think, goes two-way or goes down to the G League. I like their starting 8. I think it's and they got TJ McConnell, who's also a good solid player. I think they did a good they stole TJ Warren. Him and Jeremy Lamb can go back and forth between the 3 and the 4. They're good, man. They got a nice team. McDermott as well. They got a good team. I'm happy with. They're gonna be tough for my Pistons to deal with because they got makings of a Eastern Conference run in like 2 years, I think, in them.
Yeah. So, as we go to the next trade, we've got the sign and trade for Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker was traded to the Boston Celtics for a 2020 second round pick. It could be either a New York or an Orlando pick. It's a pick swap. And Charlotte got a protected 2020 second round pick and Terry Rozier. That's highly questionable. Like, first of all, Michael Jordan did a very Michael Jordan move when he had the option to trade Kemba Walker 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And everybody was He was getting big offers from teams. The Wizards, the
Yeah.
Cavs, the Pistons, the Clippers, the Lakers. Everybody was giving up a little something. Even New York was giving up a lot for Kemba Walker because they
Yeah.
knew they had a sense that he would leave, but he was like, "Oh no, I'll stay." You know,
Right.
so um, they just assumed he would come back, right? And so they were like, "Okay, we're gonna offer you a little less than the max," because that's what he said in the interview. So they were like,
Like,
"Oh, okay."
right.
But it's like he's like I would look at coming back to save salary, but the thing is, they offered him way less than what was a regular max.
Like $60 million less.
Yes, and so that's like you're basically asking for the guy not to come back, and he just goes to Boston, go gets his max, where
Yeah.
he can go from being in a crappy Charlotte situation. Well, I wouldn't call it crappy, but I'd say it's just a regular outside. It's a 9-8 seed type team
Right.
where he can
Right.
go automatically into a top 5 team in the East
The problem
and
with
get his max.
the only problem with the Celtics though is by letting Aaron Baines go, they don't have a center.
They do
So
now.
who?
They have Cantor.
Yeah, but there's and I guess Theus will be his backup, I guess. I mean,
I I don't know what Boston's going to do, what their plan is for the future. But
it's gonna be
I would
rough.
say I'd say this is this a good deal for Boston? I'd say this is a decent deal for Boston because again, Kemba Walker's not better than Kyrie Irving. He's just not. Even with chemistry issues, I don't think he'll be better than Kyrie Irving. He's a lot less injury prone than Kyrie Irving.
Well, Kyrie is a fabulous player, but you know, he doesn't win. Can't be the number one guy and win. He can be your number
Yeah.
two. And I think that Kimba is they're not gonna win with Kimba. Because
Oh.
Kimba, I think he's gonna make it tough. You look at their lineup, man, it's only one ball.
Yeah.
Tatum and Brown, they trying to get paid, man. This first contract, you need to put numbers up, man. And if you're not getting a rock, how you gonna get that 30 million? You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
Marcus Smart is what he is. Gordon Hayward's trying to prove that he deserves the money he got. Langford gonna be out there trying to shoot. Everybody's gonna be trying to shoot. Um,
Yeah.
and Kimba got to get his 20 plus shots a night. So
Yeah.
FGA is gonna be hard to come by for these boys.
Yeah.
you know?
So, in the end, I think it's pretty decent for Boston. I'm not gonna say it's great. I like Kemba Walker. I just don't think he's as solid as Kyrie is on defense. Not saying that Kyrie is like an amazing defensive player himself. I'm just saying
Right.
he's solid, knows where he's to be. Kemba's a little small. They said pick and roll, set picks on him. He just kind of get stuck on them joints. Like he
Right.
ain't going nowhere.
Yes, he
So
gets stuck. We
and the
went to a
fact that
couple
Enos
games.
Cantor's got to be and the fact that Enos Cantor's got to be the big in that situation just probably makes it worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Charlotte, Terry Rozier, we don't even need to discuss this. This is like I'm trying to think, what is a downgrade as bad as this? This is like if the Washington Wizards lost Bradley Beal and got back Jeremy Lamb. Like that's the equivalent.
Yeah.
Equivalent to losing Bradley Beal and getting Jeremy Lamb back. That's like not what you want.
Right. Not a
That is
bad player.
absolutely that's not a bad player. It's just you lost an all-star,
Right. Right.
all NBA type player for nothing.
Yeah.
Or lost him for Jeremy Lamb. That's
Which
like
is
Terry
star.
Rozier. I saw him in the Celtics. They guarded him. They geared up for him every night. He played absolutely terrible.
Oh boy.
His shooting was super streaky because they saw him last year and they're like, "Oh, you think you can just get out here, take 10 shots, and just be killing us?
Right.
Watch. Next year we'll be guarding you." And he went out there and he shot absolutely. He shot 38% from the field.
Woo.
Which down from the 39 he shot last year. He shot 38% from three last year. He shot 35 this year. His shots went down because of Kyrie coming back, which caused all kinds of chemistry issues. So I won't
Right.
completely say he's bad, but he did shoot 10 shots a game last year, and he did shoot 5 threes, or not. Yeah, he shot 5 threes, and he shot 4.2 of the, or 4.3 this year, and 8.4 shots total, averaging about 9 points a game.
Right. Right.
So his minutes decreased by about 3. So in the end, I would say Terry Rozier, he's gonna get all the shots. Him and Malik Monk, they're taking it all. Both of them are taking 20 shots. Him and
Oh
Malik
man.
Monk.
Oh boy.
Miles Bridges
Woo.
might get a few, but it's gonna be Malik Monk and Terry Rozier taking every single shot. I don't know if Malik Monk's gonna like that. He might love it.
I mean, he
Be a
gonna
Devin
love it.
Booker.
You get
He's gonna be a
20.
Devin. He can be like Devin Booker, but
Yeah.
you know, hopefully that works out for the
With Charlotte.
for the Hornets. I can't even say hopefully because like it probably more than likely won't.
Yeah,
Charlotte, as we've seen, they've been a bad organization from day one.
Yeah.
They haven't changed in the 15 years they've been in the NBA. They were a bad franchise when they came in. They're a bad franchise now. They don't pick good. Their drafting is absolutely terrible.
Right.
They don't have a big enough market to sign great players. The greatest signing they probably have had is Al Jefferson.
Yeah.
Which is a good player, a great player, but it's not like a tremendous signing. So it's not like this Charlotte's gonna pull somebody away from like a Detroit, because it's like, again, how enticed are you by Charlotte if you live in Detroit already?
Right.
So
Right.
in the end, I think it's a pretty decent deal for Boston. We'll see how that defense goes.
Woo!
Because their chemistry is already being messed up with everybody thinking that they're the man. People don't know who's. The problem they suffer from is everybody thinks they're the man when everybody can't be the man. Campbell
Right.
cannot be taking 20 shots while Hayward takes 20 shots, while Tatum takes 20 shots, while
Right.
Jaylen Brown tries to take 15. That just won't work.
Right. It's not gonna work.
That's 75 shots from 4 players.
Right.
That's not gonna work.
Exactly.
So everybody can't be taking every single shot. So in the end, I feel like this might work out for Boston. Who knows? Charlotte, it's more than likely not gonna work out. But yeah. So next episode, we will go over a few more of the trades that happened. Some on draft night, some not. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Heard It Here First.
All right.
We'll be back next time to discuss some bigger trades.
All right. You heard it here first. Peace.